your ability or your inability to be able to scale and ramp up your sales team with speed is preventing you from being able to ramp up and scale up your business. So we've managed to scale up many offers from $0 to $1 million a month. Quite often we're actually able to do that for our clients within 6 months of working together. Not always, but we have managed to do that before. And the reason we're able to do so is because we have processes, we have checklists, we have systems all in place that enable this. So right now you might have a marketing machine that works really well. You can book qualified calls. But what's the point of being able to book those qualified calls if there's no one on the back end to be able to really not just convert it, but to be able to convert those deals at scale? Because having a team of 3 closers, 4 closers is one thing, but if you can bring on 10, you're literally able to more than double your business. And if you have a marketing machine that's able to actually book these qualified calls and the bottleneck is your sales, then you're literally sitting on a money machine that you can't extract the cash from. And that's like very painful. Like you have this money machine right in front of you, but you just can't extract the cash from it. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you our process, the things we look at when it comes to being able to ramp up reps that allow us to be able to do what we do at scale, which is really important if you want to be able to really build a highly profitable, highly scalable business. So without any further ado, number one, the first thing we look at when it comes to ramping up our sales team is the hiring process and who we actually hire. So when we actually hire, we hire for environment and we don't hire for resume. So what does that mean? Someone might have an amazing track record of being the #1 life insurance agent for whatever, insert company name over here. But just because that person did really good with life insurance sales, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to convert an offer in the high ticket space that, let's call it, it's a body fat burning offer that helps women in their 40s and 50s burn body fat. So someone who does really good at life insurance won't necessarily be able to close very well on the coaching offer for weight loss. Why? Because it's 2 completely different environments. It's 2 completely different sales processes. So you want to make sure that when you do bring on a rep, the environment that they was in prior is similar to the environment they're going to be going into with you in the future. So with a life insurance closer, for example, they're more pitch heavy and they don't have the same type of consultative approach. So they won't necessarily do as well. And someone who does door-to-door sales, they can't always translate their door-to-door sales experience into being able to sell from the phones or be able to sell through Zoom. We see people who try to take that transition, they struggle a lot. So you want to make sure that you hire for the environment. If you're running an offer that helps marketing agencies grow, for example, you want to hire someone that's already been in the agency space, they've been in the marketing space, they know the lingo, they know the buyer, they've been there, they've done it before, they already have followed a very similar process. If you're able to find people like that, you're able to cut the learning process in half and you're able to ramp up reps much quicker than trying to hire someone who looks really, really good, but they come from a completely different environment, a completely different industry. And after you've actually hired that rep and you brought them on, what's really important after that is looking at the initial conditions. So what I find is that if a closer comes into our offer and they're closing for, let's call it, a 30-day period, and they're unable to hit their KPIs within that 30-day period, they don't often go from cold to hot. So if someone doesn't get it quick and their initial conditions and their speed to actually get ramped up isn't hot, then I won't waste so much time on that individual. I would more so look to bring someone in who can kind of get off the ground running and hit their KPIs within that given time frame. Normally when a closer starts hot, they can continue being hot and they might fizzle out in the future. I'm not saying they're always going to be hot, but someone who often starts hot, they're often able to hit their KPI and they're often able to maintain that for a period of time that allows us to be profitable. But I've never seen someone start cold and then get hot. So best practice is to hire well, we hire fast and we also fire fast as well. So if someone's not able to actually get ramped up within a 30-day period, we're not going to waste our time trying to continuously work on the individual. We're going to try to find someone who has the ability to get hot quick, because when someone can get hot quick, they're often able to maintain that. But I've never seen the inverse. Number two, you want to make sure that you standardize all of your variables. So what do I mean by this? If you ever look at a football game, for example, and there's a play that the players play, right? So there's a play that they move and there's like a certain sequence to it, and that's all great, but then sometimes the play doesn't work, sometimes the play does work. And sometimes it's very difficult to know what was the issue. Was it the play, the actual movement, the sequence, or was it the player's ability that made the play not work? So was it the person's physical accolades that made the play not work, or was it the actual game plan itself? So sales is the same thing. When you hire a team of closers, you want to standardize everything so everyone has the same play. So the play when we're talking about sales is the sales script, the framework, the process. You want to have everyone on that same process, and then that way you know if the play works or if the play doesn't work. Right? And if you know that the play does work because everyone's on it, then you can then isolate that the issue isn't the play, the issue is the player. You understand? So when you standardize everything, you're able to find out is the issue the play or the player. And then if it's the player, you know that your play works, and you're able to just sub out the player and find a player that's able to play the framework, to play the script more effectively. But then if you have everyone on a different type of play, a different type of script, a different type of framework, it becomes so hard to actually dial in and find what the variable is that's actually missing, the variable that's actually broken. So what we often do when we bring on closers, we like to make sure that we bring on 2 closers at the same time as a minimum. Because the same way you want to split your landing page headline, the same way you want to split test different Facebook ads, you want to split test closers as well. So I ran an offer before in the past where it was a brand new offer, was doing something very different, and we didn't know it was going to work or not. It was something completely brand new. And when we actually started to run the offer, we brought on 2 closers at the same time, right? So we brought on 2 closers at the same time, was running this brand new offer, we had our marketing running, and was booking calls, and what we found was quite interesting. So we had 2 closers, we can call closer A and we had closer B. Closer B, in that first month running the offer, only did around 19K in cash collected, where closer A did over 200K in cash collected. But can you imagine if we didn't split test the 2 closers? Can you imagine if we only brought on closer B? If we only brought on closer B, we would have thought to ourselves, this is a brand new offer, heck, it might not work. Maybe we have to make tweaks to the offering, maybe we have to make tweaks to the Facebook ads, and we could have potentially have killed that offer if we only had closer B on it. But because we split tested closer B to closer A, we actually managed to find out that the offer's really good. People really like it. The marketing campaigns are dialed in. We realized that the offer actually works because we had 2 closers being tested side by side. And you're in an extremely good position when you know that the only variable that needs to be changed is just the closer. So I was able to sub that closer out and then bring on closers who are much better, and because of that was able to really scale that offer up. But if you only had 1 closer on that offer and that closer wasn't the best, then you're trying to tweak your offer, you're trying to tweak your marketing, you're trying to play around with the CRM and play with different things and hop from offer to offer because you think that your systems or your process is broken, when it's like, no, what you have is working really well. It's just that you didn't have the right person to be able to actually convert it. So it's extremely important. You test Facebook ads, you test your headlines, you want to test your closers as well, because that way you know if the closer is the issue or if it's something else within your process and your funnel and your business. Number 3, you want to coach for the one big domino. So the one big domino is the one big domino that if you knock over, will knock over all of the smaller dominoes and make it so that your closer is able to crush on the offer, convert at a really high rate, and it's going to make all of the other little nuances within their sales process obsolete because you handled the one big thing, the one big needle mover. And that's extremely important. Because when someone comes onto a brand new offer, there's so many things for them to learn. And I see sales managers all the time just overwhelming their closers with so much information to the point where they just can't get it right, and they're trying to fix so many different things. And as human beings, if we try to fix 1,000,001 things at one time, we don't fix even one of them. So you want to focus on the one big thing that if they can get right with their sales process, is going to make everything else obsolete. And then after that, you want to check off the list. You want to start from the biggest dominoes to the smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller dominoes. And it works extremely well. What you often see is that people want to, when they bring on a new closer, they want to give them a sales call from Ben, a sales call from Jack, a sales call from Billy, and then they give them too much information, and then that closer becomes so overwhelmed, and then when they hop on and they actually start to do a role play with you, their process is a complete Frankenstein. It's a complete mess because they're looking at too many different variables, trying to mesh everything together, but they don't actually have the experience to know why closer A used that and why closer B said what he said, and it becomes a Frankenstein, it becomes a mess, and they never get ramped up, and they quite often end up failing because they're all just overwhelmed. So it's really important that when you are trying to ramp up closers, I only give closers 2 sales calls from one closer, one style, one closer, 2 sales calls, and that's it. I don't want to overwhelm them. And then when we're doing our role plays, I make it so I'm not hitting them with all of these crazy, complicated objections and trying to throw them off and mess with their head and give them all of these confusing variables. I try to just make it very, very simple. I try to look at the one domino, and that one domino is often, are they following the framework? Are they following the process? And I'm a very easy prospect on that first role play because I just want it to be a place where they can just practice the flow, practice the framework, and get really good at the main thing, which is the framework. And then after that, we can start to add in more complications down the line after they've got the one most important thing actually dialed in. What I find so much is that new sales managers, they quite often want to, you have to think of it. For a sales manager, a lot of the time, their core reviews are like their time to shine. A lot of sales managers, they used to be closers, they could close before and they can get respect and accolades from their team for converting deals, but when you become a sales manager, you lose that. So sales managers like to feel like they're doing a really good job when it comes to core reviews, so they like to mention all of the little things that are going wrong because it makes them feel good, it makes it feel like they're relevant. But that's a mistake. A lot of sales managers, they think too much about themselves and they want to be able to flex their psychology muscles way too much, and then they just end up confusing the closer because the closer has like a million and one different things you have to work on now. And like I said before, you try to work on 1,000,001 different things, you don't improve nothing. And teach your sales manager to look at all of the different variables that are affecting that person's conversion rates, and to only focus on the biggest needle mover and then work your way down the list one by one by one. And if you found this video helpful, just like and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. And if you also leave a comment as well, that would be great, with a video that you would like to see me make in the future, and I can also get that made. And always feel free to reach out if you want actual help scaling up your sales team, scaling up your marketing as well, to be able to scale your offer up. We actually help people do this in a more done-for-you fashion. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. It's just Melek Sterling on Instagram or Melek Sterling on Facebook, and we can talk there. But until the next one, see you later.